So here's how I've set this up. I'm just learning how to use Droid, and I find that while there's videos, either they're all instructional, of which very little of it has to do with Forge, or it's all musical, in which there's no explanation as to how they've done their patch. So this is my setup, and it's just designed for Forge. I'm using the Encoquencer Pico system so that I've got a voice and I've got an output. So what I have here is I was toying with the Encoquencer, which is the sequencer, which is used the E4s. Now, I have 16 steps here that are visible. You can see the lights going on it. But also there are another 16, there's a maximum of 32 that you can use. And so this is actually page 2 that we're looking at. I've used a button circuit in order to switch from page 1 to page 2. Now that's just so that I can open it up to edit the notes that I want to do. This continues to play all 32 steps, which is its maximum 32 steps. So I'm just switching it so that I can get there to edit it. In addition to that, I have some modulation CV coming out of these right here. This is sine wave, and this is a triangle wave. And then down below, I've got CV that's coming out from the sequencer, and I've got some more CV that plays off of the sequencer, draws notes from it to sort of play that bass line behind it. So I'd use a sample and hold to do that. So here's my screen actually looks like. I've labeled it, but my rack has these elements in it. And so the first item that I pulled up was the Encoquencer circuit. Very simple to do. The first thing you need to do is give it its number of faders. I showed 16 because I've got 4 E4s. Each E4 has 4 steps, so that's a total of 16. And you can do a maximum of 32 steps. It just means it's going to go to a second page. I've provided a clock, which is just a simple LFO clock. You'll see later. The reset, I have no idea what that is, but I suspect that it needs a reset. That might have to be 32, not 16, but maybe it has no effect at all. I'll have to check that. And then down here, I had to add, on the side here, here's where you can pull down your circuits, which I then look for that item. I'll do it right now. For the where do they? Oh, sequencing. So on the sequencing, there is the one that I'm using. So then you just highlight it, I click on it, and then you just click OK, which I've already got it. So. So then you've got, I had to add page, and you do that by going over here. Underneath the circuit is various parameters you can pull up, and here's a whole host of them. And page was not one of them initially. Sorry, it's on LFO. Let's try this again. So now I just clicked on the Encoquencer, and now I click on the parameter, and now there's page. So I pulled up page. The idea for page, it responds to button triggers. I've got some sort of problem here. Okay, somehow that came on. All I did was just go on that line, and I went on that line and I deleted it. So then I'll show you how to do page in a second. Down below, you need roots and degrees. I haven't done anything with those. I think what it's doing is it's doing a C Lydian. But you can change the C to whatever root you want, and degrees is really your scales. You can pick whatever scale you want, like I think 7 is minor. And then these are select ones, and I just put in the numbers, I repeated the numbers, so I think that's how it wants it. And what it is this is basically you have the root note, and then you have a semitone. You have root note is 1, and then you have the third up from that, and the 5th up, and the 7th up from there, 9th, 11th, and 13th, which I know Matthias uses for like jazz and stuff like that. So I've chosen all of them. Now this is the button group that I brought out. It comes out as 4 buttons, but you just go on that button and you delete it for the buttons that you don't want. So, so I identified the buttons that I wanted. Those are these 2 up here. And when you click on it, you click the LED, and over in the corner here, it would show up a light bulb. You hit it, it'll light them all up. Then what I would do is I want to trigger it out. I want to do a page trigger, so I did an internal cable, and it's to go up here. And so the idea is that when I push button 1, it will give a 0, which these pages are numbers 0, 1, 2, 3. So it'll give a 0, and that'd be page 1. And then when I push button number 2, which I'm doing them in a row, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm doing 3. And that'd be a value of 1. So it'll turn the page to 1. So that's how I click to the pages. You only use those so you can go in there and set your tuning, as I said before. Then I have just a modulation LFO, and it drives a gate out number 2. I don't use that right now because it got sloppy, so I'm using just gate number 1, which comes right off of the sequencer, you know, the clock that runs the sequencer. But I am using the various, I'm using the sine wave, I'm using the triangle wave for, to modulate my VCO. Then what I wanted to do is I wanted to set up a second voice, and what I wanted it to do was just go out there and from time to time select whatever note the sequencer was on and then play that note. So like a bass guitar would only play 1 of 4 notes or something like that. You can tune it however you want. I chose a sample. I'm using a sample and hold trigger. And then this time window is something to help allow it to pick with a little more broader way. You can pick, it will go out and grab the note. So it's not always behind, but it's more in tune that way. And then the input is I've got, I'm going out to get the sequencer's pitch, which is right here. And I want it to sample that pitch. I want to sample it when the trigger goes off. I've got an LFO that triggers that trigger. That's right here. Simple LFO that I can adjust. That's a P21 and P22. That's right here. So that adjusts the number of times that that's going to actually take a sample of that CV, and then it's going to play it. And it will go out number 6. So the sample CV comes back out here, and so that goes to the volt per octave in my second voice. The sequence CV, first voice, then the sample and hold voice pitch CV goes to the second voice. I also added an envelope, and that's pretty straightforward. I set up my attack decay, which is right up here, attack and decay. It outputs out number 7. So here's my envelope CV, and then I put that in to one of my filters, to my VCA. and then it triggers it. This is how I get that CV. Now, I don't know that I had to do that, but this copy, I use this copy circuit. It's a special circuit they have. And it goes for the input. I went out to get the pitch CV from CV6, the output 6. And then I sent it, the sequence pitch CV into the sample. I think I could have just clicked from here, straight up to here, but I'm not sure. Sometimes what it does is it tries to replace it. So I'm using copy. I think that's what you got to do. I'm just not so certain here as we talk. And then down below that is a very simple LFO. It's my clock LFO, and I use these parameters up here for my clock LFO. That clock LFO is going to run the sequencer. So level, if I turn the level all the way down, it's stopping the LFO. If I turn it up, and then I can adjust the speed of the LFO, and that's done with the hertz. And that's it. That's what I've got. Hope that helps.